Good evening. It is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. I will call this closed session to order at 5 o'clock sharp. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak or has any correspondence been received on any closed session items?
Yes, we do. Correspondence was received and was forwarded to the City Council, and we do have one public commenter.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first public speaker?
Alex Zikakis.
Okay. Mr. Zikakis, welcome.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and City Council members, I am Alex Zikakis. I'm the president and the founder of Capstone Advisors, which is the owner of the Cato Menifee project that you approved for development of an industrial building in November of 2024. That approval was a culmination of millions of dollars of entitlement costs and countless hours of hard work, both by your city staff and our company. I'm very appreciative of those approvals. I bought that property in 2010, at which time it was fully entitled for a different type of development. It was designed to be residential for 122 homes. But after we bought it, in discussions with the city, we learned more about the city's plan for the Northern Economic Development Corridor, and I became convinced that the EDC's vision and the city's vision was for the best interest of the city and all of the residents, and agreed to abandon my full entitlements to seek new entitlements more in line with the EDC. After you approved our project in November, we were stopped due to litigation from the city of Paris, in which I think we all consider to be an unprecedented overreach by that city into the sovereign rights of the city of Menifee, its citizens, and its stakeholders. And this litigation has affected all projects owned by the developers working in the EDC. But after a long period of meaningful negotiation that's been being handled by your settlement, by your city, a settlement is finally on the table, which resolves the dispute, works to resolve the dispute, holding back the EDC, and allows all of us to move forward to deliver these critical new projects. The framework that you will consider tonight, while it's not ideal, it does create a clear path forward. It enables the approval and proposed projects to utilize the Ethonac roadway until the southern roadway is constructed. It unlocks essential encroachment permit. It secures fire service reimbursements, which frankly have no nexus to our proposed projects. And it paves the way for both cities, hopefully, to establish a cooperative relationship that will benefit both cities and the region at large. We recognize that us, as the Menifee Development Group, we're absorbing a disproportionate share of the costs. However, these projects are very hard to keep together, especially many people have their land under options, and the cost of inaction to us as the developers is substantially greater. But that cost is not just to us, but it's also to Menifee's economic viability and regional competitiveness. You know, our projects will bring job creation and investor confidence in the city's ability to deliver smart, meaningful growth. So with that, I respectfully urge the City Council to adopt the settlement framework with the minor revisions that were proposed in the letters that ourselves and the other developers put forth to you last night. And we hope to achieve the full potential of the EDC, and we believe the resolution will catalyze immediate investment and job opportunity and send a clear signal that Menifee is open for business and continues its vibrant focus on prosperity and making the city new, better, and best. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Zikakis. We appreciate your words today. Madam Clerk, just for clarification, do you have any other speakers?
No other speakers.
Okay, no other speakers. All right, seeing as there are no other speakers, we will go ahead and close and recess now to close session at 5:04. Thank you. Good evening, Menifee. I will call this meeting to order at 6:06. Mr. City Attorney Melching, do you have anything to report out of closed session?
Not tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, have you received any correspondence on tonight's agenda?
Nothing on the regular agenda.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Dynas.
Here.
Councilmember Diedrich.
Here.
Councilmember Temple.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Here.
And Mayor Estrada.
Present. Next, we are on the words of inspiration. I would like to call up Pastor Bob Warning with Crossway Menifee Church. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me, and just want to thank you all for your service. And I feel especially honored tonight because the Mott family's being honored tonight, and my mom opened a beauty shop in the Mott Center right there in Romaland some 40 years ago. And so it's been a long time, but I have goosebumps. That's awesome, isn't it? But I would like to pray for our meeting tonight. So our gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts for the opportunity to gather and to serve our city. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed upon us and for the leaders who have been entrusted with the responsibility of guiding our community. We ask for your divine wisdom and guidance as our city council members deliberate on important matters before us tonight. Grant them clarity of thought, discernment, spirit of unity as they work together for the common good. May their decisions be guided by fairness, justice, and compassion for all citizens. May they be mindful of the needs of all members of our community and work towards a future of prosperity and well-being for all. We ask for your presence to be with us throughout this meeting, guiding our discussions and actions. May we work together in harmony and with a spirit of cooperation, always striving to make our city a better place to live, work, and raise a family. And we ask these things in your name. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Warning. Next, we are on the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to call up Shane Lipson. He is from Tooele Elementary School. He will lead us in the pledge. Come on up, Shane. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Shane. Next, we're going to go on to presentations. First, we're going to start off with the Menifee Community Cupboard, and then next, after that, we'll go to the Mott Museum. So I'd like to call up Executive Director Don Smith to join us at the front. Hello, there we go. So we're going to honor the community cupboard today and Dawn Smith. We chose Dawn to be recognized tonight because she and the community cupboard have done such a great job in our community. She has fed thousands and thousands of souls. We learned recently their past fiscal year, they didn't provide 100 meals, not 1,000 meals, not 100,000 meals. They've provided 1 million meals in the Menifee community. So let's give all of them a round of applause. The community cupboard has provided for the community in so many ways. You've done the mobile pantries, the emergency food programs, the home deliveries for everyone, and we are just so gracious and so proud of everything you have done. So thank you so much for all of your contributions. I'm going to go ahead and give our fellow council members an opportunity to share a few kind words. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem? Okay. All right, we'll end with the certificate. Go ahead, Dan.
You know, Don, it's been so fun watching you over the years. You know, especially at the mobile pantries. Yeah, to see people come in who have a physical need, and they leave not only being physically fed, but also, I think, emotionally and spiritually fed. So thank you. You do such a wonderful job, you and your crew. Thank you.
You know, I don't think there's enough to be said that, you know, that everyone else not going to say, but, you know, one thing I remembered was the backpack program, where your organization would fill up backpacks to send home to the kids that wouldn't eat over the weekend if they didn't have that. That was quite an eye-opener for me, that was going on in our community. So and I just thank you and all those that were involved and that came up with the idea. You know, that shows that Menifee cares about their residents. Thank you so much.
You know, the community cupboard and you, Don, as well, you're ever present. You always show up. You always fill a need. I mean, I remember even just when we had power outages in Quail Valley and you all gathered and provided food for those residents. Anytime there's a need, the community cupboard shows up, and we thank you so much for that.
You know, the community cupboard, aside from the obvious of feeding those in need, the community cupboard's really given our community an opportunity to experience volunteerism. It's really kind of the heart of volunteerism. And whenever there's a food drive or something going on at the cupboard, to watch how many people come out and load trucks and drive trucks and put things away on the shelf, so to serve the community. And it's such a need that we have, and such a unique way for our members of our community to get involved. And it's terrific that the name is Community Cupboard, because it really is. And I want to thank you for inspiring so much volunteerism from our residents and serving those so much in need. So thank you for that. I'm going to present you with the certificate, and then we're going to hear from you guys about the mission a little bit. It says, the Menifee City Council congratulates you on your achievement of distributing over 1 million meals in the city of Menifee, which included 966 families and 2,758 individuals through a network of community partnerships and diverse food assistance programs reaching those most in need. Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I couldn't do what I do without our board of directors. So raise your hand if you're a board of directors. And Jonathan is our board president. The other people who allow us to happen, and first of all, the community at large, we cannot do it without you, without the stores that provide food. But I also wouldn't still be standing upright if it wasn't for these three ladies here in the front. Ladies, I want you to stand up and turn around. So. In the middle, we have Julie. Julie has been with us for 10 years, and unfortunately, she's going to retire soon. So, but we already have a great person to fill her shoes, although she's, you know, she knows she's filling big shoes, and that's Marissa. And then also, we have our thrift shop, which is extremely important in funding our program, and Tony. Tony is doing a fabulous job with our thrift shop. So I don't do it by myself, obviously. We do it with people, we do it as a group, and we do it as a community.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a photo, okay? Would everyone like to come on up? Come on up.
All the way down here. Get in the photo.
Next, we're on the business spotlight. We are going to recognize the Mott Museum. So can the Motts come on up? We have Kayla Charters, our Economic Development Manager, and she will help present this item.
Thank you, Mayor. So Kayla Charters, Economic Development Manager for the City of Menifee. Come on down. Thank you, guys. So how many of you guys have been to the Mott Museum? That is so great to see so many of you guys have. If you have not, I highly encourage you to stop by. It's over off of Highway 74. And tonight we are selecting them as our business spotlight because they are one of the gems in the community and really make our city a destination and something unique in our community. And as you know, Menifee is fast growing, but as we continue to grow, this is one of the ways that our residents can stay connected with our past. The Mott family is one of the oldest pioneer families in the valley, dating all the way back to the 1880s. So in 2007, the Mott Historical Museum was founded and is a custom-built barn from the 1985, and it features a collection of restored antique cars, as well as they host a variety of different events, including weddings and programs that highlight and preserve our local heritage. And as part of our business spotlight, we have a small, short little video to play, so I'll go ahead and roll the clip.
I'm Tommy, and I'm here with the founders of the Mott Historical Museum, John and Leon, and we wanted to welcome you into our museum.
In the heart of the Menifee Valley, the Mott family are regional pioneers who have shaped local agriculture and the surrounding community since the late 1800s. The Mott Historical Museum celebrates their legacy with over 25 vintage cars, a rich local history, and a venue that brings the past to life. Visit the Mott Historical Museum, where heritage drives us forward.
And we have John Mott joining us, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you to say a few words.
Okay, well, I guess my brother built the barn he's coming here now, in 1985, I think. And he used a lot of old materials, so a lot of people think the barn's been there from the 1920s, but so it looked like it's a really old facility. And I think we started about 14 years ago, and have kind of slowly, we keep improving it all the time. It's free, and we're open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Tommy, maybe say about maybe people that attend.
Yes. Hi, I'm Tommy. I've been with the Motts for almost 6 years now. I do our media and all sorts of things. But yeah, I have worked for them for this long, and I love it. There's, I'm sure, a lot of other things out in the world to do, and this is where I want to stay and choose to be, because they have preserved not only their family's history, not only the valley's history, but Menifee's specifically, and it is all at no cost, and that was done purposefully for people to share. And we see so many people that come from all over the world, literally. Today we had people from Belgium that came in, and they get so excited about us, that, you know, that we exist. And it's just a wonderful place. So if you haven't been, you should go. But if you have been, you should also know that we switch the cars out. So you can come see different cars. But I'm going to pass it to Leon, who just walked in. He is the one who started the grocery store that it used to be. Some of you may remember. So he was just on time.
There you go, Leon.
I had to have somebody take care of my wife. So I had to wait for her to get back. Anyway, we built the barn in 1985, kind of as a dream, because Robert Morris, who built like the arches in Temecula and all that, he was a friend of ours, and he actually built the building for us. And I worked with Tom Farm in Corona. He helped us do it. And we ran it for about 20, 25 years. And then my mom passed away like 15, 16 years, quite a while ago. And she wanted to do the museum, because some of the cars we already had, most of the cars we had. And so we did it for Mom, because she wanted to do the museum. And come on down and see us. We're there pretty much every day. Thank you.
I should say for Menifee, we do have the original Menifee school bus. That it was a high school bus. It went from Menifee to Paris High in the 1920s. And I was at the Dearborn Museum in the Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, and they had a school bus. Our school bus, the Menifee school bus, is 1924, and they had a sign saying that they thought that they had the oldest school bus in existence. It was 1928. So yeah, that's kind of really neat.
Thank you. Councilman Dynas is the District 4 representative in Romoland, and so we believe it's appropriate that he reads to you the recognition.
You know, I get before you go. You know, if you haven't been there, you gotta go. I mean, you just gotta do it once. It's a gem of the city here, and you know, if you're interested in cars at all, it's so fascinating. I know, and not to mention the museum itself, but everything you do for the community, all the volunteering and opening up the museum for events and stuff like that. You know, not many cities have a Mott museum and Motts that actually do things for a community like this. So thank you so much. So with that, is dated August 6, 2025, in recognition of your dedication to the Menifee community and your continued commitment to improving the quality of life for our residents and visitors. Thank you so much.
The next item of our presentations is the Senior Advisory Committee. Councilman Dynas, I would like to pass it on. I'm sorry, Councilman Temple.
Well, I wanted to take a minute to recognize Bruce Atwood. Bruce was my appointee to the Senior Advisory Committee, and for personal reasons, he is stepping aside. But I wanted to recognize him for 4 years of dedicated service to the senior population of our city, and not just the senior population. You know, if it was that, I wouldn't see Bruce at other city events, and I wouldn't see he and his wife, Kathy, all around the city doing fun things and being part of different organizations. So he's been more than just a member of the Senior Advisory Committee. He's been a wonderful citizen in Menifee with his beautiful wife, Kathy, by his side. So I wanted to take a moment and recognize Bruce. So Bruce and Kathy, do you want to come up? Okay, we'll get Bruce up. There we go, we'll get Bruce up. Sure, go ahead. This award is presented to Bruce Atwood. The Menifee City Council extends its sincere appreciation for your dedicated service on the Menifee Senior Advisory Committee from January 2021 to July of 2025, honored and recognized on this day, 6th of August, 2025.
Menifee is a great place to live, and I was honored to be able to get involved with the Senior Advisory Committee and all the other, I mean, the council people, our mayor, I mean, all the representatives of community services. You know, it's a great city to live in, a great city to serve and volunteer in, because this is an amazing place, you know, and I'm thrilled. I really am thrilled with all of you guys. You know, it's been an amazing time, you know. And my committee members, of course. love you guys. You were amazing to me. So it was a great committee. So thank you.
Bruce, we really appreciate all of your service. It takes a lot of time and dedication and time away from your family and friends, and it shows how strong and moral of a man you are. Your moral compass is strong. Being a public servant in any capacity is very respectable and admirable, and I appreciate everything you've done for our city. Thank you. Council, would anyone else like to share a few words? Okay.
Bruce, it's been such a pleasure to see you working with our seniors in this community. It's such an important part of Menifee. Our seniors are such an identity of Menifee, and you've really helped bring them the resources and the support and the information that they lack in so many other communities. And because of you and your participation in our Senior Advisory Committee, the seniors have benefited so much, and we appreciate your dedication to that segment of our community that is spread through the rest of the community. I saw you at National Night Out last night, and you're around all over the place spreading the good word for people. So thank you so much for helping our community and really helping us to help them. So thank you so much.
You know, I don't think I can see it much better than what Dan said. He said it all. So I can say is a very big thank you from the residents of Menifee for all you've done. Thank you.
Bruce, we just want to thank you for your dedication and all that you've done. We truly appreciate it and enjoy your time now.
Okay, so with the absence on the senior committee, I made a selection of Lori Garcia to be Bruce's replacement, or to be on the senior advisory committee. And Lori, come on up. So I don't know how many of you know Lori. She was one of probably 50 or 60 applications to the senior advisory committee when I assumed office. And I remember looking at her application and being very impressed with everything that was on there. And so later we spoke. And, you know, I had such an enlightened conversation with her. You know, it was funny, when we spoke, I could hear all sorts of talking in the background, and I didn't know where she was. And, you know, I think you were at a hospital volunteering, or at a doctor's office volunteering. So when we spoke, she was volunteering, helping some seniors at some medical appointments. I've talked to her a couple of times, and each time that's been the case. So it's come to my attention that she is a volunteer at heart. Lori has been a Menifee resident for 11 years. She's a small business owner. She served for Riverside County on the First Five Commission, and then later served on the Canyon Lake Veterans Advisory Committee. So she has spent a long time volunteering, and she was very excited to accept this appointment to the Senior Advisory Committee, and I think she's just going to do such a wonderful job working with everybody and helping move along our seniors. So there we go. I present Lori Garcia.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, council. I accept this wonderful opportunity, and I come here excited to add to what is already the foundation, and thank you for all of the wonderful service. I have very large shoes to fill, and I don't take that lightly. So thank you, and I look forward to my new role here, and I am very approachable, and I just want you to know that. I am here for everyone. I am a senior myself, and I find my time here in Menifee the only place I want to be. It's my home, it's my heart. So I just want to be able to share that with my fellow community members, and thank you.
Thank you so much. We have City Clerk Rosine, who will administer the swearing in to Mrs. Garcia.
I love that our senior advisory committee has to vow to defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic.
Thank you, everybody. Next, we are on 5.4. This is our Police Department quarterly update, and I see our chief up at the podium. Good evening, Chief Carr.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Chris Carr, Chief of Police. We are here to talk about our second quarter update year to date. So we'll start off with our overall calls for service. Comparing against last year, we're still 5% down, so we're tracking the right way. When we talk about our top 5 calls for service, you're going to see some proactivity. This is like our follow-ups, checking up and further investigations, welfare checks of our residents, public assist, so any kind of flag down or front counter assistance. Parking violations are dramatically down. We appreciate everybody following the laws and paying attention to the signs out there. And then suspicious people, thank you for calling them in so we can stay active with our community. Alarm calls are down about 4% overall. Again, these are business and residential alarms that our officers are responding to. About 90% of them still remain to be false alarms, so we are asking for cooperation and checking your services, getting with your providers, having them do some maintenance on it, check your batteries, help us out so we can spend our resources the right way and make sure we're getting to you when you really need us. Group A crimes, traditionally these are your crimes against persons. 8% down. This also includes like crimes against society, drug use, paraphernalia. So we are seeing less offenses, which is tracking again the right way. Top violations here are the drug and narcotic violations. You'll see the simple and aggravated assaults. This still remains to be mostly domestic violence related. If you have family members that are struggling, we do ask that you look for some resources, point them our way. We will help them get the help they need. And then some shoplifting along with drug equipment. This is your paraphernalia, narcotic use. Group B crimes, warrants, simple violations, again, 12% down. So our crimes are still dropping down. And you can see here, when we talk about other offenses, this is your warrants, the things that have been previously dealt with, personal use narcotic violations, weapon and laws. You'll see significant decreases there. overall 12% overall 12% reduction. Our auto theft is down 50%, so doing well. Cases overall 10% down. So this is your crime reporting back to the officers and actual investigations occurring. Less crime, less reporting. So it's good measure. Great community. Arrestees by age group. So we look here, 8% of our arrestees are repeat offenders. This is 2 or more violations on separate cases. Once again, second quarter still tracking the same as the first quarter. 30 to 49-year-olds seem to be our top tenders everywhere. They're the property crimes, the narcotics use, and the assaults. Code enforcement cases, year to date, they are 1,223 cases that were opened, 564 cases closed, and you'll see they're still working just under 500 cases. A lot of their workload goes into their administrative citations and follow-up. Illegal sign removal, which is great because it keeps that sign pollution and that sign graffiti down off of our street signs and poles and makes our city look better. HOPE, this is our homeless and housing opportunity partnership. So they do a lot with us for our resources. You'll see here repeat contacts 37% of their time. 56% of their time is other services. This is where they're helping them reconnect to VA benefits, getting a driver's license, getting maybe Social Security disability. So there's a lot of effort put into getting people the services they need to function again. CBAT is our mental health clinician that rides around with our officer. 211 calls so far with a 47-minute per average. A lot of it with history, so 190 of those contacts are repeat people that have a history of mental health. And again, we're just trying to get the right resources for them. We wanted to highlight some of the work that HOPE is doing. There's 2 grants that they've been working on that will help us out significantly. One is a permanent supportive housing in Wildomar. It's things like vouchers, food assistance, things that will get them into services for mental health awareness that will take us 1 year or longer. And you can see here we had 11 individuals that received vouchers to go to this housing. 4 of them came directly from our streets. 3 more are scheduled to go in August. So we're making good traction on those that we're encountering. The second grant is the Merida Creek Trail Grant. This does not specifically say that it has to be chronic homeless. It could be anyone who is immediately displaced. We're trying to put them into rapid housing. This is emergency housing, get them into transitional, and then can help them 1 to 2 years, so up to 2 years for rent assistance. Really great program. We've seen success with that, even out of our high schools. Our success stories, last time we highlighted the effects. So here we have a 32-year-old who's been homeless for 8 years, and we now have been able to get him into behavioral health services. A 49-year-old, we've been working with him for a year, got him into services. Another 39-year-old. So you can see the trend here. This one was actually incarcerated, came out, is remaining compliant, getting into transitional housing. So we work with them when we even know when they're coming back into our community. 59-year-old here. Again, it's huge success for us, showing that this team is partnering with us and we're making an impact on our community. And then some of our community outreach, Coffee with a Cop in the community. This was like bicycle safety, police appreciation day. We're meeting with kids that are out there selling lemonades. It's a great opportunity. E-bike education and enforcement. So we've been out there. You've seen some of our posts. We are talking to community groups. We're holding classes. We'll be doing more in the next couple. Actually, this weekend we have another bike safety course happening. We also were able to promote two people into our manager roles. So support services manager Mandy Runnels, she's been with us a couple years as our records manager, and then code enforcement manager Terrence Wiggins, who has been with us since the inception of the PD. We're lucky to have them in our management ranks. New employees, Officer Blake Oldenburg, Luis Ortega, James Latillo, and Carlos Vasquez were all sworn in during this last quarter. They are all progressing very well and just fun to have around. Upcoming events, we have our Buckle Up Barbecue, Monday, September 29th. So we'll be helping people understand how to put in car seats and securely strap any special devices. And then our Faith in Blue, October 11th. I also want to give a big shout out to National Night Out last night. Citywide, the amount of staff work that went into that, the amount of staff that attended it to gain that connection with our community. Thank you to everybody that made that so successful. It was awesome to see. With that, do we have any questions?
Thank you, Chief Carr. We appreciate the comprehensive presentation. Council, do we have any questions at this time? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Hi, Chief. I just wanted to highlight specifically, now that the Bradley Bridge closure is official, can you tell us what plans you have for enforcement of people who are going to get frustrated, drive quickly and aggressively where they're not used to driving?
Yes. So as we said during the ceremony as well, we are going to be enforcing vehicle code violations. We are asking that people pay attention to the signage on the road. We understand that traffic is going to increase through some of the neighborhoods as people get creative with their cut-throughs. Our traffic team and patrol units will be out there issuing citations. Day one of the closure, we issued quite a few. We have no problem making the enforcement. Please be aware, do not use your cell phones. We understand that it's a new route. You're a creature of habit. You drive a certain way. If you need directions, pull off to the side of the road, look it up, because that will be a cell phone violation as well. We are enhancing the security around there. I actually spoke with Public Works today. We're going to be putting chain link fencing around to secure the project even further. Our officers will be in the area constantly making that enforcement.
And if there are incidents of concentrated areas where it's speeding at a particular time or location, can they reach out to the non-emergency line and report that so we can make those adjustments?
Yes, they can. They actually, if you go on our website, we do have a traffic hotline. So anything that you notice that may be increasing or different than normal, please reach out to that traffic hotline. We will take notes and we will get action out in the area.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Seeing no other questions, thank you so much, Chief Carr.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How dare you leave? Just how dare you?
We're just warming up.
We're going to talk about term limits for committee members. How dare you? Yeah, Dean, you have to stay.
I'll give everyone a minute. Okay, thank you. Next, we are on agenda approval or modifications. Oh, I see City Attorney Melching in the queue. City Attorney Melching.
Thank you, Mayor. We'd like to request that item 12.3, which is the multi-jurisdictional City Council Ad Hoc Committee, be continued to the following City Council meeting. This is based on recent progress that we've experienced in some settlement negotiations with the City of Paris, and we don't think we're going to need to address this issue until a later meeting.
Okay, thank you for that recommendation, City Attorney Melching. Council, would we all like to vote in favor to approve the agenda as modified and table 12.3? Aye? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as modified. Next, we are going to go on to public comments on non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments on non-agenda items?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Seeing as there are, I will go ahead and read this statement for the public. This is the time for the members of the public to address the council about items which are not listed on the agenda. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the council's ability to respond to comments on non-agendized items at matters such times the comments are made. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes for any single item. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first speaker?
Sherry Morrison, followed by Jesse Sims.
Good evening, Mrs. Morrison.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Sherry Morrison. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members, for being here and allowing me to speak. And Mr. Corwin, thank you for getting back with me on the email, okay? I'm a veteran. I'm a senior. I'm a homeowner. I lived on Lazy Creek for 15 years with my husband, of course. I'm glad you all are addressing these problems that we're having. And I have seen a big police force come out the last couple of days, okay? I have a big concern moving forward. We have school going to be starting here soon, and not to mention we have a park on our street, okay? But we know how kids are all the time, and it gets crazy. I just hope that there's going to be enforcement for when the kids start school. I mean, and I'm glad, excuse me, I'm so nervous, I'm sorry. But I'm so glad that you addressed about, because I do call the tip line, I do call all of them, okay? I do call that. I've been handing out little papers on my street, okay? So, Mr. Corwin, if you get some emails, it's my fault, okay? But it's all good, okay? I mean, but otherwise, we like our city, but recently my street I haven't liked at all, you know? So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Morrison. Madam Clerk, could you please call the next speaker?
Jesse Sims.
Good evening, Mr. Sims.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff, community members at large. My name is Jesse Sims. I'm the owner of Netvolutions Technology Group and the chair of the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce. And tonight I would like to give you a report, an update on the Chamber's activities here for the Menifee Valley. First, I'd like to say that in the month of July, the Chamber added 14 new businesses. And so we really find that to be an accomplishment, and we're really excited about that. Also, in the month of August, we are doing All in August. And that's a strong membership push and drive to let the members of our business community, both within Menifee and the surrounding areas, know about what we're doing and the great job that our city is doing for the businesses here. Council and staff and residents are invited for August 28th for Menifee Night at the Storm Stadium. We hope that you've already secured your ticket, and more information for that is found on the Chamber's website. Tuesday, August the 12th, please join us if you are a local business owner for our evening business mixer. It has an opportunity for businesses to showcase their business by bringing a raffle prize, and then that gives you an opportunity to present your business in front of all the businesses that are there. We've been getting upwards of 50, even 60 businesses at a time, so that's a great opportunity for you to come out and showcase. And then the chamber staff has also began with the help of the city, of course, planning on the state of the city and alongside of the economic development department. So thank you very much for that. But we are in with that, and we're excited about it. I also want to say a public thank you to the members of the city council that do come out to our chamber events. We really appreciate that. We see, we understand that some of you are business owners, and definitely you're members of our community, and we really, really value and appreciate your support. And I want to say on behalf of the chamber and on behalf of my business, thank you very much. And then finally, I want to put in a shameless plug. On August the 14th, Netvolutions Technology Group will be holding a cybersecurity awareness seminar at the Coldwell Banker Training Center. That's right above the chamber office. It will be cybersecurity and resilience, how to strengthening your human firewall. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Madam Clerk, do we have any other public speakers?
No other speakers.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we're going to move on to council member updates and comments. This is the time for the City Council to provide any updates or comments on meetings and events they have attended. I'll go ahead and start to my right. Councilman Diedrich.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be brief tonight. On July 23rd, I attended the
recap meeting for the Southwest Elected Leaders Coalition about our trip to Sacramento and how that went and next steps. And then yesterday, we were all at the Bradley Bridge groundbreaking.
Thank you, Councilman Diedrich. Councilmember Temple.
Yes, on the 17th, I attended the city employee appreciation breakfast. The 18th, I went to the Menifee Moonlight Market, attended that. On the 25th, I attended a free community event, Live Jam Music. And then that evening, or later that day, a senior citizens scam workshop. On the 4th, I attended a Riverside Conservation Authority meeting in Riverside. On the 5th, as Ben said, attended the Bradley Bridge dedication. And then last night, also I was at the National Night Out at Banner Park.
Thank you, Councilmember Temple. Councilmember Dynas.
Thank you, Mayor. I too was at the Bradley Bridge groundbreaking. And then the other thing, today I attended the RTA Administration and Operations Committee meeting. That's all I have, thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Dynas. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Thank you, Mayor. I was at the Sweet Team Quarterly Employee Appreciation Luncheon, which was a great event. The staff does a great job with that. Rotary meeting I attended. I was also at the Live Jam event with Overdub, the local band. That same evening, I was bouncing back and forth between there and the Sun City Civic Association's Shakespeare in the Park, which was a great event happening at the same time. So much happening in town. I am our representative to the RCTC Budget and Implementation Committee, and I want to report out on that there's a list of projects that are moving on through RCTC to the next level of review for funding to SCAG, Southern California Area Governments, and our McCall 215 interchange project made it through on the recommended list, which will now go into the full state pool for review with a suggested budget of $25 million for that, which would take us a long way in getting that project funded. I attended a Bradley Bridge community meeting at the Sun City Civic Association Webb Hall to inform the community about the detours and things like that. I went over to Foodie Friday, one of my favorite events. WRCOG, I'm a representative for WRCOG. Nothing really to report there. They're trying to select the speaker for the next gala. One of the top runners is Bob Costas, which would be cool. Another top opportunity is Jewel. Jewel wants to come and sing some songs and talk about her history. So it's going to be a good event, I think. Like everybody else at the Bradley Bridge ribbon cutting, I was at National Night Out. And then just a little while ago, we were outside showing off our new fire engine. So we were all standing out there in the heat. The heat made you all forget about it. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Carwin. I also attended the Sweet Team Luncheon, went out there to support with fellow council members, and anytime we have the opportunity to support staff and show moral support, I enjoy going out there. I also attended the Southern California Associate of Realtors Scholarship Luncheon. We had one Menifee resident who was awarded $1,000, and I made sure to be her representative there and show her Menifee love, letting her know we're aware of all of her hard work. I went to the Menifee Unified School District Board meeting. I saw Debbie Mannion there. We're keeping an eye, making sure our kiddos are doing all right. They're doing just fine. Economic Development Forum. I saw Councilman Carwin there. We had some good discussion. We have a lot of prospects and potential investors coming to our city, so exciting news for our city. A lot to look forward to. I went to the Bradley Bridge ribbon cutting with our fellow council members. National Night Out was last night as well. We have to support our PD, and we made time to do that. And right before the council meeting, we had our new Quail Valley fire truck unveiled. A lot of improvements, a lot of accommodations for our firefighters, and we're happy that they have a little bit more peace of mind and with all the new improvements to their fire truck. I also wanted to address the announcement that I am being deployed. I think it's important that I address it formally at a city council meeting and inform the public, and I have a prepared letter to share. Dear Menifee residents, as you may know, I serve our community in several fashions as your mayor, teacher, and reservist in the United States Air Force. I love Menifee and America, and that is why I've dedicated my life to public service, as I believe God has intended for us to show love for one another. It is important that I inform you I've been called to serve our country abroad. I have been activated by the Air Force and will serve a 6-month deployment beginning in October. Mayor Pro Tem Bob Carwin will assume mayoral duties when my deployment begins. I will continue to communicate with city leadership and staff. I will stay updated on all local activities. Upon my return after 6 months, I will look forward to continuing all the great momentum our city has accomplished. God bless our city, and God bless Menifee. And I wanted to add a personal touch and just say thank you to all my fellow council members and all the staff and all the public who have been positive and provided moral support. And I'm gonna be rooting for you guys and watching, and I know you guys are gonna continue all the great momentum and continue to succeed, and I'm just so proud to be here with all of you. Okay, that concludes our council member updates and comments. Next, we are on approval of minutes. There's one set of minutes for the council's consideration. Does this council have any modifications? Okay, hearing none, can I ask the city council for all in favor of approving the July 16th meeting minutes? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the meeting minutes are approved. Next, we are on the consent calendar. All matters on the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a council member requests a separate action on a specific item on the consent calendar. If an item is removed from the consent calendar, it will be discussed separately and acted upon separately. Unless, let me reread that. It will be discussed individually and acted upon separately. Unless otherwise directed by a member of the city council, the vote on ordinance adoptions will reflect the prior action of each council member when the ordinance was introduced. However, if a council member is not present at the city council meeting, their vote will be reflected as absent. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on consent calendar items tonight?
There are none.
Okay, thank you. Are there any items the council wishes to push for further discussion? Hearing none. Okay, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
Second.
Okay, looks like we've casted our votes. We just have a slight technical difficulty. Great. That went through and passes 5-0. Next, we are on discussion items. This is 12.1, legislative body terms and terms limits. Madam Clerk, can you please introduce the item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, City Council. This is a future agenda item request from the City Council, and I wanted to introduce our new Assistant City Clerk, Edna Aguilar, to provide the presentation.
Good evening, Mrs. Aguilar.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, council members, members of the public. My name is Edna Aguilar, Assistant City Clerk to the City Clerk Department here in Menifee. And today I'm here to provide an overview of the City of Menifee legislative body's terms and term limits. So as a general overview, City of Menifee is a general law city governed by a city council and supported by several commissions and committees composed of appointed members. Currently, the city has 2 commissions and 4 committees as listed above. The breakdown of the current terms and term limits for each of the legislative bodies is shown on the screen. City council members serve a 4-year term and are subject to a 2-term limit as approved by a ballot measure. Commissioners' terms are tied to the terms of the council members who appointed them, and currently there are no term limits for commissioners. Commissions do not have term limits, and they are set by city ordinance. Committee members serve 2-year terms, also with no term limits in place, and their terms and term limits are set by city resolution. At this time, staff is seeking council feedback regarding the current legislative body's terms and term limits. Should the council wish to explore changes, staff can return at a future meeting with the formal agenda item and potential recommendations for council's consideration.
Thank you, Mrs. Aguilar. We appreciate that. Council, we are on questions. Do we have any questions for staff at this time? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
I do have one. Michael Knighton.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Knighton.
Commissioner Knighton, for this speech. I'm just make this quick since it's a discussion item. I'm really looking forward to hear the discussion tonight. This will answer a lot of my questions back on February 2nd when this was brought up. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, any other requests to speak?
No other request.
Okay. Council, this is time for comments and discussions. Would anyone like to lead off? Yep. Councilman Dynas, I see you in the queue.
Yes. We talk about term limits for the commission and the committees because they're appointed by the city council. That essentially is a term limit for them, because then the newly elected city council member has the ability to nominate and appoint other individuals. So that would be an automatic term limit. My other concern is that by doing this, and those council members here that are on the planning commission probably speak to it better, but it takes a long time to get familiar and become somewhat of an expert on the reviewing projects, understanding our ordinances and things like that, and not being able to future council members to avail themselves of that expertise. I think it would do a disservice. As a council member, if I came on board, if I'd rather have my choice, who I think would best serve my constituents in that role, whether they're brand new or whether they're returning. So I think the way it's working now works, because we do have the option to assign and appoint different people if as the council members turn over. So, I'm for just keeping it status quo. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Dynas. Next, Council Member Temple.
Thanks, Mayor. I feel very similarly to that. I think this is a self-correcting problem. As it stands, we're limited to our terms as elected officials, but as Dean said, we can choose the person we see best to fit the role. And I think there is a tremendous amount of institutional knowledge that goes with somebody who's served in some of these commissions and committees for a while that makes them a very good fit. And I would hate to place a limit on that person from being selected by an elected official simply because there's a term limit when they very possibly are the best person for that job. So I too am in favor of leaving it as it currently is.
Thank you, Council Member Temple. Okay, I'll go ahead and hop in. The reason I brought this as a future agenda request was because in Menifee's history, in our elections, we've seen our voters vote a few times in favor of term limits. And I shared a photo with IT. If IT can please display the voting history of Menifee voters. I don't see it. Can we? I'll give IT a second to organize that. But twice in the history of Menifee, we have, there it goes, council terms. Okay, there it goes. And it's displayed there. And in 2010, the public elected to have term limits for council members, which displays a preference for term limits. And in 2018, a measure to remove term limits for mayor and council failed, which shows a preference for term limits. And I think not only do we see it locally, but we hear it nationally as well. There's a sentiment that congressmen and higher electeds should have term limits. And so I brought this forward to bring a healthy discussion about the process and the way we do things here locally. We have commissioners right now who have served past 8 years over terms of multiple council members, and the commissioners have a lot of influence. They have influence with policy decisions. They have influence with the development plans, with the zoning, with the land uses, all of the same influence that a council member has. And so with so much influence, it's concerning that an individual can have so much power and right-of-way over the policy of a city for such an extended amount of time. I understand that the institutional knowledge is important, and there are many electeds outside of the city of Menifee on a broader level who I wish, even presidents who I feel could have done a great job with another 4 years, but the intent of term limits is to protect the abuse and over influence and giving other residents and representatives an opportunity to participate as culture and society evolve. So, you know, I think it's important that we have this discussion to bring up, you know, is it healthy for one person to have so much policy discretion for such a long amount of time? And I would be in favor of mirroring the same term limits we have on council to the commissioners and committees as well. At least with the city council, we have a 2-year cooling period, and it gives policy a time to readjust and not give one person so much power. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
I'm not a fan of term limits, mainly because, and I think it's different on the local level than on the federal level, where so many people are affected and so many people have an opportunity to do an input, whereas here you're talking about a member of the community. This position's volunteer. You know, it's not like we've got a career politician who's making their living by being here and amassing power. The analogy I use when I explain my view to people is, imagine you're going in for surgery, and just before they put you under, they lean over and say, I have good news. It's your surgeon's first procedure. And you go, could I get somebody who's been doing this for a long time, please? And it works the same way here. It takes probably a full term to kind of figure out what's going on. Because the other part of the dynamic is that aside from the electeds, everyone else is around for 10 years. They know what's going on. And to come in without that background, if you're going to have term limits for the council members, having committee members or commissioners who have been around for a while, like I think Councilmember Temple really benefited by having Chris Thomas at his disposal, who's been on our planning commission since the beginning. He knows the history of these projects, which, I mean, a great example is the Bradley Bridge project. That thing was brought up in something like 2013. Having people around who were there when that came, still they remember the history of it. So I think if you're going to have term limits for council members, and again, I'm opposed for term limits for council members too. You get a good person in there, you want them to stay. And you're dealing with some cities that don't have term limits. So our council members turn over, and then there's other people who have been council members for 10 or 12 years, and you're trying to negotiate with them. It's very difficult. But if you're going to be brand new, where you don't have institutional, you haven't served on, for example, planning commission or something like that yourself, and then you come onto the city council, you have an opportunity to go to people who have been around to say, okay, help me out understanding this or that or this or that. So, and if you don't like it, you can pick somebody else. That's the other option. They don't come with the seat. you can pick whoever you want, and sometimes people shuffle things like that. So I don't think it's to the best benefit of term-limited city council members to not be able to pick experienced commissioners and committee members. So I would be opposed to imposing that.
Mayor Pro Tem Carwin, I have a concern because, we are a bigger city. We're a bigger city than we were in 2008. Totally different dynamic, new opportunities ahead of us. And I understand the institutional knowledge is important, but I don't think we should be scared that a new person can come in and do the job. We were all new at one time, and we all learned at one time, and we should allow more of the public to participate. And the other concern with no term limits is there's a probability of nepotism and choosing people and built a relationship around for such a long time. And I'm just looking to bring a healthy discussion and all the new residents in, give them a chance to participate.
And that makes complete sense, but use yourself as an example. You came in and you brought in all new people. So nobody's afraid of that. They're not requiring you to keep people. But if you say, hey, look, I don't really know that much about planning. I'd like to have somebody advising me or working with me who does, or not. I want a fresh perspective. I'm a council member with a fresh perspective. I want to bring a fresh perspective to the city. Great. Bring in 5 new committee and commissioners like yourself. You had the opportunity to do that.
Right.
You believe in that, and you did it.
Right.
So that opportunity is there.
There's nothing preventing any of us from calling prior council members or mayors or representatives or commissioners at any time. We can get their advice at any time. The hiccup, though, is when one person has that much voting power for such a long amount of time, that policy is instituted over that same amount of time. And so I'm just looking to protect that. Okay, Councilmember Diedrich, I see you in the queue.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I think it's great that we're having this dialogue. I'm going to be brief again for the sake of not just repeating what everybody up here has said. I see the pros and cons of term limits, right? I see both points, right, of continuing on that institutional knowledge. It can be beneficial in certain times and not so beneficial in times, right? It depends on who you're asking and whether they align with your views or not sometimes, right? Is really what it comes down to. But ultimately, since we have established term limits for council members, I think it's a self-curing problem. I think we've all discussed that is someone comes in new and they believe that there should be a turnover, they can elect or appoint new blood at that point. There's nobody saying that they have to stay on. So I think ultimately we have the best of both worlds in this case in that we can keep that institutional knowledge at the lower committee, commission level if we so choose to do so, or we can come in and we can shake things up and bring new people on. So I'm in favor of keeping it as it is.
Thank you, Councilmember Diedrich. Councilmember Dynas.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little confused on our commissions are making policy, because policy is done at this level here. The commissions aren't in place to make policy. We have our planning commission and our parks commission, and they review things according to what the county standards are, especially the planning commission. Their job is to look at a project, does it meet all the needs? They may find things that might benefit the city on part of the project. They may ask for additional condition to add this or add that or don't do that, but they're not making policy decisions. So that's why I'm a little confused as who's making policy decisions that I'm unaware of. The parks, they're not making policy decisions. They're looking and reviewing, and it comes up to the council then to make those policy decisions. They're a recommendation, and they're kind of our first line of defense of going and reviewing these different projects. And as far as I haven't heard of any examples of abuse or undue influence or anything like that. So I'm not too sure, how if they are making policy decisions, then, we need to address that more than term limits.
Yeah, well, just to clarify, any policy has to be approved final by the council. But just one recent example, in the couple years that I've been on the council, as we make the innovation district, we have these joint meetings or we have the new community center with the Parks Commission. We determine the policy. What kind of building do we want this to be? What do our residents want? What are they requesting? And we all get together and determine what the policy is and how we should address these specific projects. And so that's where I think they can have an influence. And when you have the same group of people who are participating over an extended amount of time, it's gonna more than likely lead in a particular direction for that same extended amount of time. So when we talk about the ideas and we have our joint workshops, I think it would be healthy if we allowed more residents and representation from other people in the community. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about was the commissioners, and by the way, everyone in Menifee is doing a great job. I'm just trying to make sure that we have a healthy and robust discussion amongst all of the 125,000 residents. And when we vote, when the commissions vote on the projects, a lot of those projects don't come to the council later on. Some of the housing projects, some of the warehouse projects are in recent memory. If that is not appealed by the developer or the applicant, it stays there. The project can live and die with the commission. And, as we see in recent examples, sometimes the council, as I, want to address those decisions and the policy they take on the housing and economic development projects. Councilmember Temple.
Hi, Mayor. So kind of in listening to some of the things you said, I think the important thing to remember is when we appoint people, they are people that we've looked at. We've looked at their resumes, we've reached out, we've talked to them. And I'm probably more likely to appoint somebody who aligns with my views and how I see things than not. So, of course, committees and commissions are going to reflect the people that appointed them, or I would think they probably would. So I don't see the issue of having the same people on the commission over and over and over again, because I really don't think that's happening. But what is happening is they reflect the person who appointed them, because that person studied and learned about them and liked where they were on certain policies. So I don't think we have that problem. I think we have I think what we are facing is the fact that committees and commissions tend to reflect the people that appointed them and our views, and that's what you're seeing. I don't think you're seeing any type of an abuse of power or position. In fact, I would, if I saw something like that at any level, that would alarm me, and I would bring that up, and we would do what needed to be done to correct it. But at this point, all I see are votes and discussions that reflect the city council and the members that appointed them.
Okay, council, thank you so much for agreeing to bring this forward. I thought it would be a healthy discussion, and I wanted to bring it forward to give all of the Menifee residents an opportunity to participate in how we run government here. I have no other comments. Do any other council members have any other comments at this time? Councilman Diedrich.
I'll just throw in one more thing just because to get to the point, right? We have 2 new people up on the dais here, right? And Planning Commission, for example, we have 3 new planning commissioners, right? And so I think that just speaks to the fact that we're talking that it's pretty much a self-curing issue, right? Is we are getting that turnover even with the ability to keep people on. So I would just say that I think we are getting some of that progress and change that we're looking for.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Diedrich. Okay, staff, it sounds like there are no corrective actions to recommend. I appreciate the healthy and robust discussion on term limits. Next, let's move on to 12.2, Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee. Okay, and it looks like we're gonna keep up Mrs. Aguilar to present that. Can you please present that item, ma'am?
I will. Thank you. Second item of the night. So today I will be doing an overview of the current Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee. An ad hoc committee, there are temporary advisory bodies formed to address a specific issue or need for a limited duration. They consist of less than a quorum of a city council, commission, or committee. And once the committee completes its task and reports back to the full legislative body, it dissolves unless the legislative body takes action otherwise. It's also important to note that the ad hoc committees are not subject to open meeting requirements set by the Brown Act. The current Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee has made meaningful contributions by evaluating potential growth strategies and providing support for recommendations that have strengthened the city's commercial and business environment. However, as it stands, the city has outgrown the committee's original purpose. At this time, the City Council has the option to consider the following actions: dissolve the existing Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee, recognizing that its original purpose has been completed. And we also have established a project-specific ad hoc committee in the future should the need arise. At this time, there is no immediate need to form a new ad hoc committee. However, should the need arise, staff would bring a formal item for council's consideration. So I recommended actions to discuss and provide feedback regarding the current structure of the Economic Ad Hoc Committee. And that concludes my presentation. We're available for any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Aguilar. Council, do we have any questions for staff at this time? Okay, seeing none in the queue. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on this item?
No, there are none.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, Council, let's open it up for discussion. Councilmember Dynas.
Yes, I'm the one who brought this up here. So could we get the first slide up here, that what ad hoc committees are? You know, 6.5 years ago when I came on council, we had the Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee existed, and that was to review all upcoming economic development, different activities that were happening and things. So if you look at here, after 6.5 years, it kind of misses the limited duration and purpose one. It hasn't been temporary at all. So I think we're moving away from what the intent of an ad hoc committee is, more towards a standing committee. So I think it'd be to the benefit of the city just to dissolve this and to keep with the fact that this no longer even looks like an ad hoc committee. It hasn't been, I can't remember the last time we had one. It's been a long time ago. So certainly this does not tie our hands to not be able to form another one for a single purpose, because that's the intent of an ad hoc, is a single purpose, not whatever comes up, so we can sit and talk and, you know, and avoid the public meeting acts and stuff like that. So there's a specific purpose, and I think this committee has outlived it. So the reason I brought it up, I think it should be dissolved and approached in a different way.
Thank you, Councilmember Dynas. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Ed, can you remind us who's on the Economic Ad Hoc Committee?
I believe it's Mayor, and
Is it me?
Dynas. Yeah, it is.
And
It's like, I believe
is it myself and the mayor?
And the mayor.
I see.
Yes.
Sorry, correction, Council. It's the mayor and Councilmember Dynas.
Let me reconsider.
And for the record, it has been
that long.
It has been about 2 years since the committees met.
My point in asking that question is we have an ad hoc committee that our members don't even know who's on it. I really don't think it's doing very much. And I am a big fan of less is more. So anytime we can get rid of something in the government, I am a huge fan of that. So that's the way I would go. And that was just an illustration to show how super, super important this ad hoc committee is not.
Yes, the ad hoc committee is supposed to be for a specific purpose, and at this time, we don't have a specific purpose for our legislative body to address, and so I think it would be appropriate to dissolve it. I see no other speakers in the queue. Okay.
Yes, a motion
we
and a
need to take
second would
motion.
be welcome.
Okay.
I'll move to dissolve the Economic Development Ad hoc Committee. Did I say it right?
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to dissolve the Economic Development Ad hoc Committee. Thank you, and that passes 5-0. The next item was 12.3, but earlier on in the meeting, we motioned and voted to table that. That brings us to City Attorney report. City Attorney Melching, do you have anything to report?
Not this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager Villa, do you have anything to report?
No reportable.
Next, future agenda requests. Council, do we have any future agenda item requests? Hearing none. Okay, next we are on our adjournment. Tonight, we are adjourning our city council meeting in loving memory of former City of Menifee Mayor and council member and Paris Unified School District trustee John V. Denver. This plaque, which I will display right now, will be hand-delivered to his wife, Linda Denver, later this week. God bless the Denver family. IT, can you zoom in on that, please? May John Denver rest in peace. God bless the Denver family. This meeting is adjourned at 7:28. Good night, Menifee.